In the far northern mountains of Japan, near the base of Mount Yotai, is one of only 9 Ritz-Carlton Reserves in the world. I'm standing in front of the Ritz-Carlton Reserve Higashiyama Niseko Village, and it is so remote and so different than any other Ritz-Carlton Reserve that I just had to fly out here, see it for myself, and give it a full review. The materials themselves are very worn down. Small close again. So I reviewed this hotel out of 50 points in 5 categories. The categories, like always, are the ambiance, the room, the dining, the service, and the it factor. Ritz-Carlton Reserves are the best Ritz-Carltons in the world. So let's get in there and start with the ambiance. Now, the room is ready a little bit early, although there's already an issue with the category that I booked. We'll get into that a bit later, but for now, let's take a sneak peek. Okay, that's enough of the room for now. We'll come back here later in the review, but I want to show you around the hotel first. Kicking off the ambiance section, I want to walk you through how this hotel is actually laid out with this map here that my team and I made. So overall, it's a pretty small hotel when you look at it. You walk in through the lobby and the front desk is right there on your right. On your left is the open ume lounge and the restaurants. They're both right next to each other. On the other side of the lobby, you have an area to sit and a library, which is where I just was, where you saw me, and the elevators that take you to the guest rooms. Now, before you go into the elevator, there's the gym and the spa, which has an onsen attached to it. That's really it, other than the outside spaces. Now, we are so remote and secluded out here and immersed in wilderness, so why don't we start with the spa and that onsen. We are now in the Spa Chassis La Sothis, which is a very interesting mix of Japanese and French treatments. Now, the menu is very simple and very, very minimalistic, but there is one specialty treatment called Nature's Wisdom that looks relatively interesting. Everything here revolves around the onsen. This is a traditional onsen where you have a hot bath inside with mixed minerals and you have an onsen outside. The steam with the snow behind it creates a very Japanese kind of feel in here, but on closer inspection, the materials themselves are very worn down and very dirty. Everything from where the water actually comes out of the spout to in the pool itself, even the ceiling is showing signs of mineral wear and tear. I'm not super impressed with this room or the spa in general. In Japan and in Mount Fuji, there are onsens that blow this completely out of the water. No pun intended. It's just time for this room to be completely reinvigorated when there are only a couple of treatment rooms. There is no one working the front desk right now, so we just walked right in, and no staff in here as well. Whereas in most places in Asia and luxury hotels, you will always have a bath attendant in the spa. Not the strongest start for the ambiance segment. Let's keep looking around. The reason why someone would book this Ritz-Carlton Reserve is because it is a ski-in, ski-out property. In fact, the mountain range here in northern Japan is one of the best ski capitals of the world. You can literally pull up in your skis or your snowboard right here to the Ritz-Carlton Reserve and walk right inside to your room. It's a major benefit to being in this area. It's also why I think they're able to call this a Ritz-Carlton Reserve, charge a higher price point, but we'll get to value and location in the it factor at the end. Now I want to speak a little bit to the architecture and the grounds themselves. This building is dreary at best. It feels like the kind of hotel you would stay in maybe off the highway in any middle American city. I was thinking about the developers and designers. What were they thinking when they built this building here? Ritz-Carlton Reserves historically are some of the most incredible architecture, the ones I've both reviewed and the ones that I've seen online. This feels like a far cry from what's normally part of the Ritz-Carlton Reserve category. Now, they may be going for minimalism, they may be going for that Japanese kind of stark contrast to the white snow, and I suppose I see that, but I think it's a stretch. Not to mention the outside of the building is not very well maintained, and you're not gonna believe it, but there are mosquitoes everywhere. I couldn't believe it myself when I saw it, but there are mosquitoes as I'm speaking to you around my head right now, and it doesn't smell very good either. There may be a sewage issue, or maybe there's something going on with the trash. I know this sounds harsh, but I was pretty underwhelmed when we pulled up for the first time to this reserve because I'm just expecting what I saw in Dorado Beach or in Costa Rica, and this isn't even close. Someone made a little snowman here. Oh, that's cute. Kind of a good idea for later. And now for the gym. This is a very small gym. You're probably not spending a lot of time here. There's not a lot of equipment in here, and it's definitely not an impressive part of the hotel. With that, let's keep moving. Not much to see. Now, out here in Hokkaido, Japan, I'm going to be wearing my Unbound merino wool. If you've seen other videos on the channel, they sponsored the Sensei by Four Seasons, for example, in Hawaii, but out here it is a much different environment. I needed something that was temperature controlled, warm, comfortable, versatile, no logos, and Unbound Merino absolutely hits all of that. If you scan the QR code that's on your screen right now, you get 10% off your first purchase of Unbound Merino wool, and I can tell you firsthand, they have absolutely had my back out here. Easy to clean, easy to pack, easy to wear, wrinkle resistant, I could go on. But I won't. Let's get back into the Ritz Reserve, and you'll see for yourself as I wear Unbound through the rest of this review. The final part of the ambiance section is taking a look at this hotel at night. Now, I am wearing my merino wool and it is very comfortable, but the temperature does drop significantly when the sun goes down. Once the sun's down, the lights also all come on. So behind me, you have these fun, different colored lights that are all along the path. The hotel itself has this soft, warm glow to it. It's a significantly improved vibe from what you saw in the day. Oh, all right. Well, I will say it is very nice to not be getting in a cold plunge for once, but let's give this an official ambiance score. So this hotel has so much potential. We're up in the mountains in this incredible Hokkaido area. You're a ski in and ski out resort, but if you can hear that behind me, there are just issues that are permeating this hotel. The quality of the materials is very low for this price point, even in an off season. It should be absolutely extraordinary, but it's just not maintained. There's no one even in here right now maintaining this at all, which leads me to my next point. We are in Japan in a Ritz-Carlton Reserve, which is the highest category of Ritz-Carlton. We are also in a luxury high-price hotel in a pretty significant tourist area. Why is there not more resources to maintain and increase the quality of this property? Why did they design the property itself to look like an office building? There's just so many questions and so many missed opportunities here that it really leaves you scratching your head and wondering why at a minimum, and at the most, feeling like you got ripped off. I gave the ambiance a 5 out of 10. The hallways here are dimly lit and very dramatic, and the room card is not so much. Simple white room card. Let's take a look inside. Welcome to the base level room at the Ritz-Carlton Reserve, Higashiyama, Niseko. This room is decently spacious, and it's one of 50 here in the hotel. 6 of those are suites. Now, I will tell you, I mentioned this earlier, I did book a king-size bed when I booked the room, and all they had available was 2 twins. Now, normally that would be fine, but it definitely changes the sleep experience here and the test of the bed that I'm gonna do tonight. But at first glance, it looks like a comfortable small bed here with a soft plush comforter on top, 2 large pillows on each side, and really the only aesthetically beautiful thing in the room, this cherry blossom or sakura. It's more of like a mural than a painting. I'm not quite sure. It's a design element in the room, but I do like it. It's a nice stark contrast to the black painted wood here that lines almost everything in this room. Speaking to what's available to you in here, you have modern integrations, lights, drapes, shears, all automatic. There's a temperature control on the wall that's also very easy to use, and there's a minibar. Now, everything in the minibar is included in your stay. And the average nightly rate for this room at the time of booking this was between $500 and $2,000. Yes, the range is absolutely massive depending on the time of the year and the season that you book this room. That is a very expensive hotel or a relatively reasonable accommodation depending on when you book it. But no matter what, all of the minibar items are included. Down here in the mini fridge, you have sodas and waters and a white wine. Up here, you have your standard Nespresso machine with complimentary pods, 2 waters up top, 2 waters in the fridge, and 2 waters by the bed. So there's plenty of water in this room. That is all there is to see over here. Not the most impressive minibar selection. I do wonder if the shower is impressive. Things improve pretty significantly in the bathroom here. You have a dual vanity with decent quality materials for the backsplash and the countertop, and a lot of amenities in the bathroom. Mouthwash, shaving kits, toothbrushes, and a scent that is so distinct. It's in the hall, it's in the room, it's powerful when you walk in, but so pleasant. It makes you actually want to buy one yourself, and I just might. There's also a modern Japanese Toto toilet behind me, which is always a plus as well. The final thing to check out in this room is the shower. The shower test is 3 criteria points. That's the size, the ease of use, and the pressure. Starting with the size, you don't have a lot of space to stand here because every single room in this hotel has a private onsen. Yes, there's an onsen in the room that overlooks the mountain and the valley below. Really a big plus in the room, but it means not a lot of space here. However, they make good use of the space. Ease of use is also quite easy to use. So you have a dial on the left that has great signage here, overhead, handheld, and the temperature control is on the right. Everything works, it's smooth and easy to use. The shower head itself is an overhead rain shower and it is very clean. Finally, the pressure. You can see here, the rain shower is pretty steady and has a strong pressure to it, but it's not too strong. It almost feels like you're under a soft flowing waterfall, but it is very contained. Generally speaking, the pressure really makes up for the other parts of the shower, like the size. This passes the shower test. Now I want to get changed, get into bed, and finish the rest of the room. I am very much looking forward to sleeping in this bed tonight, although it is half the size of the bed that I'm used to in these reviews. I want to talk a moment about the turn down service before I go to sleep, and then there's one other thing I want to do. The turn down service here at the Ritz-Carlton is 2 cookies on the foot of the bed. I found this so fascinating because there's no information about what it is. So why not, we'll give it a try right now. Okay. You know what? Don't knock simple packaging. That's a great little cookie. It's like a cinnamon strudel. All right, better than the turn down that we get at most luxury hotels, but definitely far from the best that I've seen. Like I said, I want to do one more thing before I go to bed as well. I want to call the front desk and order room service breakfast for a certain time tomorrow morning. Later in the review, in the service section, we're going to see if the food showed up on time, if it was hot, if it's fresh. I always order the exact same thing at every other hotel so we can compare the service across the world. Let's call the front desk. Just a minute. Usually this has a speaker of some sort. Okay, hold on. I can't actually figure out how to use this at all. I never had this issue before where the phone doesn't actually call the front desk. Hello, can you hear me? Oh, wonderful. Could I order room service breakfast for tomorrow morning, please? Could I get an Eggs Benedict and a black coffee, please? That is everything.
Sure, what time of it?
Could I do it for 7 a.m., please?
Right, so one is Eggs Benedict and 1 black coffee at 7 a.m. tomorrow morning.
That is perfect.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Final thing before I go to sleep here. Yes, I will test this bed in just a second. This outfit. It's kind of pajamas, it's kind of a robe, although there's already a robe in the room. So I thought that was an interesting addition. Also, not everyone's the same size. Clearly, this is a little small for me, but definitely not complaining. All right, good night. For a twin bed, it was relatively comfortable. I liked the comforter on top. Again, just not anything too remarkable or interesting happening here. It's a decent night's sleep, a pretty firm mattress, but I'm gonna get dressed. Let's give it a room score. On the positive side, starting there first, the shower is great, the pressure is wonderful, and your own private onsen in here is definitely a plus. The room itself is very clean, and the number one plus for me, it smells incredible. All day, all night, as soon as you walk in, it's such a simple thing for hotels to have a signature scent, but it makes an incredible difference in your memory of the hotel and of your stay. Starting on the negative side of things, it's just a simple, minimalistic room. But the biggest note here, there is absolutely no art whatsoever in here. Now, there's some great art in the lobby downstairs, but in the room itself, nothing that I could find. The carpeting is bland and not really reminiscent of a luxury hotel at this caliber, and definitely not at this price point, and all of the materials are decent. Nothing really too memorable there. The bed test is difficult because I had such a small twin bed that I didn't really have the opportunity to experience it like I would at a Four Seasons, for example, but it was also decent. Considering everything, it's a comfortable stay, and I gave the room a 6.5 out of 10. Now, there are 2 restaurants here. Yes, only 2 restaurants here at the Ritz-Carlton Reserve, and there's a lounge area. So let's get into the dining and explore some of the meals. Good morning from Yukibana. This is the breakfast and all-day restaurant here at the Ritz Reserve. I want to show you something I'm very excited about. So Hokkaido is world-renowned for its dairy. And so here we have a plain Hokkaido yogurt. If I can really try the quality of the dairy itself. Let's start here. That is very nice. It has such a smooth, creamy, nice consistency and texture. It doesn't have that kind of acidity that comes with yogurt sometimes if it's just something you grab at the grocery store, for example. This is something I could have almost every day. Very impressive, and nothing on it. It also is very thick. You can see that. It's kind of dripping off here, very viscous, which is a good sign of the quality here of the culture and of the dairy itself. Let's talk about the atmosphere a little bit. There's a full buffet that is fine. There's many options there for you, but nothing that I would consider ultra premium or luxury or high level like other buffets that we've seen. However, the a la carte menu seems to make up for that. So I'm gonna order one thing off the menu that I was highly recommended to try. It is the 4 mushroom egg bake dish. And let's see how that goes. We'll add it to the dining score at the end. Okay, the first has arrived. Now this is an onsen egg in the center, which means that they bake it at a low temperature for 32 minutes. So it's still runny on the inside, but cooked all the way through. I have to see if they accomplish that onsen egg runniness. Wow. If you like mushrooms, this dish is for you. Really good. 32 minutes of hard work. Paid off for sure. Wow. The main course has arrived here. This is a traditional Japanese yukibana set. So you have codfish and scallop here that's fried. There's a lot to see in it. I also want to talk about the fact that all of the dishes here are farm to table. So almost everything you're seeing is from the region of Hokkaido. So they source all of their ingredients right here within a few miles of the hotel. When you do that, the quality and the taste and how clean the ingredients are is absolutely at the epitome of what's possible. I'm gonna start with this codfish here. look at this. I don't often do fish for breakfast, but that is a tender, tasty cod. You saw it kind of just breaks under the chopstick. Really, really nice flavors here. Okay, strong start to the dining segment. I can't wait to try the dinner here. I actually booked an omakase experience to get a full taste of what the sushi chef on site recommends. For that, I'm gonna finish my breakfast, and we'll see you over there. Wow. So for dinner here, we are at Sushi Nagi, which is an omakase experience. And I have to be quiet and whisper just to be respectful, of course, to the art of sushi making that is happening here tonight. What better place to get omakase than here in Japan, in Hokkaido, which, by the way, is the culinary capital of Japan. And all of the fish here at the restaurant is sourced from Hokkaido. I might not be able to talk a lot, but I'll show you the dishes. Cheers. First dish is whitefish with soup. Whoa. Incredible crunchy texture in there. It's a little difficult, so he's trying to explain in Japanese. I don't speak Japanese. I wish I did. Extremely strong start here. We're definitely in for a treat tonight. It's a Japanese meat flour. So you're supposed to take this and kind of pull it off like that. First of all, that is excellent wasabi. Wow. Wasabi originates here from Japan. So if you get real wasabi, it's actually shipped from Japan, the highest quality at least. Most of the wasabi that we have in the United States is actually horseradish that they say is wasabi because it has a longer shelf life. This wasabi would not be good tomorrow. You grind it and you have to use it same day. One of the main courses has just arrived. This is the seared snow crab in a half shell with lemon, and I'm not sure what this is, maybe a ponzu sauce. Wow, mouth is watering. The smell is so fantastic. This one smells and looks amazing. Can't wait to try it. Very nice. Absolutely very nice. This is a Hokkaido snow crab. You cannot get more fresh. Incredible. While I'm here, let's talk a little bit about the atmosphere of this restaurant. It's, of course, very Japanese, traditional Japanese. It's a very quiet, very subtle atmosphere. You have this mood lighting that's consistent throughout the entire hotel, of course, with this beautiful tapestry that's behind the chef, and he's working almost like he's on a stage and performing for everyone to watch. It's really a fascinating way that they've set this up. What's most impressive about this multi-course omakase experience is the quality of the seafood. I mean, extraordinary. Speaking of, that's the cleanest salmon I have genuinely ever had. Big fan of this one. Nearing the end now, we have uni. For those that don't know about uni, I'm going to put a little information card in this video so you can read that and get a sense for yourself. It is a delicacy. It is a very high-end dish here in Asia, but really all over the world. And right now I'm trying it. I can't say anything about that dish. There are people that live for it. Uni is very much an acquired taste. Let's bring on dessert. Chef has handmade from home that he brings here mochi. So you may have had mochi with ice cream in the middle. This is just the mochi itself in a syrup of brown sugar. Since I've been here in Japan, it is my first time in Japan, in every 7-Eleven, convenience store, anywhere you go, the strawberries are perfect. And the flavor is beyond anything that we have. We do have a grocery store in the United States that sells a $20 strawberry, but that's a whole nother thing. Here in Japan, it's just common to find berries and fruits at that caliber. Anyway, I digress. Let's jump into the mochi here. It tastes like if you've had boba milk tea, it tastes exactly like the boba balls that are in the boba milk tea. There's a little matcha powder on the top there. This is definitely an experience that's worth coming here to try. You can tell everything's been highly considered here. I have no criticism or notes. Thank you. I appreciate it. Amazing. The final spot here in the dining segment is the Ume Lounge, which doesn't really have a menu. It's kind of a mix of the other restaurants, but it's a great place to grab a cocktail and to give that final dining score. So let's do a recap. You have the two restaurants here, the breakfast buffet with a la carte and the omakase sushi experience, which also has an a la carte menu. It's relatively limited in the options that you have if you stay for a long period of time, but the quality of ingredients is exceptional. The Hokkaido milk, Hokkaido honey, some of the local fish, just so clean and incredible, the flavors. With that being said, the buffet was very much so lackluster. After leaving breakfast, thinking about it a little bit more, and now sitting here talking to you, I've seen far better buffets on this channel. Like I said, quality of ingredients, high. Diversity of options and presentation, not so much in the buffet. That changes with the dinner restaurant. The omakase experience, the chef, the service there, the taste of the fish, everything was really, really great. So overall, I gave the dining here a 7.5 out of 10. Now, service is make or break for a Ritz Reserve or any luxury hotel, but I have a couple of tests for the team here I can't wait to try. The breakfast service trial has arrived here. It is 6:58, so they are 2 minutes early with this, which is great. This is our Eggs Benedict and a little bit of a different black coffee than we've seen before. What I've noticed in Japan, let me know if you've been to Japan and you found this was true. The serving sizes are all much smaller, especially for coffee and matcha and tea. I find myself needing 2 or 3 or 4 espressos to make up for the caffeine that I'm having in the United States. So I don't know if you've noticed the same. The black coffee that you're used to seeing on this channel is usually that big mug or carafe. This is more of an Americano. So before we cut into the Eggs Benedict and see how runny it is and how fresh it is, I want to talk about the price of this service trial. So this entire breakfast that you see in front of me is 3,400 Japanese yen, which is around 21 US dollars. That places it right here in the grid of comparable breakfast service trials that I've done, and it's definitely an economical option for a quick and small breakfast in the morning. It's not the most appetizing breakfast service trial that we've seen on the channel. They put it in the little warmer underneath when it arrived, which can really dry out the hollandaise sauce. It's much better when that's served on the side. I know I'm being a little nitpicky, but we'll see if that impacted how runny the eggs are. Time to take a look. It's kind of crunchy on top there. All right, a little bit gooey, much more so than that runny Eggs Benedict that you want. So the runniness here is pretty decent. This isn't the dining segment, but the flavor really matches the presentation. Not really anything to write home about. Let's test the coffee. So this has become the favorite part of my day. The first sip of coffee. Okay, that really is excellent though. It might be small, but it tastes very good. Final note here is they don't really believe in gratuity here in Japan. So I didn't mention that before in the price, but there's no gratuity added. Again, we'll talk value much later, but overall, they passed the breakfast service trial, but only by a thin margin. That egg was not as runny as we like to see here. Coffee, not as big as what I like to drink, but that price point, you really can't beat it. I'm gonna get changed and let's go do the actual service test, which will give us a better understanding of the service overall at this hotel. The service test is the part of this review where I call the front desk and I ask for something that they're not used to hearing or accommodating. I have asked for many strange things on this channel in the past, so be sure to go take a look how those hotels completed the service test. Here in the Ritz Reserve, I'm supposed to have a dosan, which is a butler, but we're gonna talk about this in a second. I haven't been introduced to mine at all. So I'm gonna call the front desk and give them the service test directly, which normally I would be calling the butler in this situation. We are in the northern mountain area of Japan. This is as far north in Japan as you can get, and it's snowing almost year-round up here in Hokkaido. I don't get snow a lot over where I live in Los Angeles, so that's very exciting to me. So I have a little bit of a creative test for the team here. Hi there, I have a bit of an odd request for you.
Yes?
I was wondering if someone from your staff would be able to go outside, possibly in the snow, and make a snowman.
Snowman?
A snowman in front of the window here so I could do a little picture.
Okay. Let me try. I will call you back later.
Okay, perfect, thank you. All right, bye-bye. So a bit of an odd request, but maybe they're gonna have some fun making it. While we're waiting for them to call us back, I'm gonna walk around the hotel a bit and tell you about the service generally here at the Ritz Reserve, and hopefully when we come back, they can make that snowman. So my service experience here has been fundamentally basic. There was no welcome amenity at check-in, no welcome drink, there's no welcome amenity in the room as well, and anytime you ask staff to go anywhere in the hotel, you aren't escorted to that location like what we see at other very high-end properties. Now, on the other hand, the dining service was quick, efficient, and very hands-on, and the general staff demeanor was pleasant and kind, but definitely nothing that stood out. I am curious to see how they handled that snowman request, but I haven't heard anything back yet. Okay, so I'm back in the room now, and I was fully planning on telling you that they did not pass the service test, they didn't respond to my text, but I came in the room and I saw this. How adorable is that? So although they didn't communicate that they were doing this for me, they did go out there and actually make the snowman. So the Ritz-Carlton passed the service test here, and if you consider everything, because it definitely wasn't perfect, but it was still a great service experience, I gave the service a 7.5 out of 10. The It Factor score is comprised of 3 different considerations. That is the unique nature of the hotel, the location, and the value of the stay. In this case, those first 2 really are the same. What's unique about this hotel is the location. Being here in Hokkaido, Japan, you have access to some of the best powder in the world and some of the best food to match. It really is a winter wonderland out here. But if we look back at the It Factor scores on the channel in the past, location alone has not been enough to really impact that final score. That leaves really only one question left for this hotel. Is this Ritz-Carlton Reserve worth it? Now, this is kind of a loaded question because it does depend on the time of the year that you come here. If you come in December or January during peak season and you're paying over $2,000 a night, it is very difficult to justify that price point here. The level of quality of the grounds, of the service, of the overall experience is just not up to par with that price point around the world. And really what you're paying for is access to the mountain range for skiing and snowboarding. However, there are a lot of resorts around the world that give you that same access, and that's not really a consideration on the value side of the hotel itself. In fact, it's kind of more of them capitalizing on that location rather than the value of the offering. Now, if you come during the off-season, maybe it is a little bit more worth it. You get a price point closer to $500 per night. Now we're starting to get into the range of a comfortable luxury stay that would be reasonable at that price point. So it's up for you to decide, but I would say generally speaking, I don't think it's worth it. And so considering the location, the unique nature of the hotel, and the value, I gave the It Factor here a 7 out of 10. It is now time to check out of the Ritz-Carlton Reserve here and give it that final score out of 50. So if you add all of the scores together throughout this review, I gave the Ritz-Carlton Reserve here in Hokkaido, Japan, a 33.5 out of 50. With that, it is time to check out. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ryan Walker, and we'll see you on the next one.